Hello, Internet. This is LordMaddog, and today we're going to do another tutorial for my SOULSLIKE project. It's a tongue twister, that one. Anyway, so today we're going to talk about adding armor, so the player can actually use armor, just like this chest plate here, and we're going to be working on our plate mail plants right here. So one thing to note when you're doing these, it is sometimes easier to have outside programs to set stuff up, or when you're modeling and things. So I got this plate mail set from Sketchfab, but it did not match my character. So one program that I found is very, very useful for this type of thing is MetaTailor. So you see here, this is MetaTailor. It is a free program to use. You can export up to 3 suits at it before in a month, and other than that you have to pay for it. But what it does is it allows you to easily add full sets of armor and change different things here. Let's go content browser. So you see I have a helmet. I can apply the helmet. I have so there's the helmet. We go back to content browser there, and these things allow you to shape and put according to your character real easy. I can even add an undershirt. So here I have a long sleeve shirt, and that will go, I'll slide it under right now, slide over. We can slide it underneath. We want it at the very bottom. There we are. And you can see it's actually underneath the plate mail there. Yep. So this is a very useful tool. I would suggest downloading it. It is free. You can use it. You can export full entire things up to 3 full suits of armor, or whatever you put on top on them per month, and it's really great. So, and then once you export it, once you exported it out to an FPX or whatever you want, then you can take it into a third-party program and each separately pick each piece off and then import it into Unreal Engine. So that's a very good program. I thought I ought to point that out. So I have already done that with these plate mail pants, and I've already got them set up with our texture. And now we're going to go ahead and actually add them to the character. So we're going to go ahead and find just like with all other addings of items, we're going to find something that's either kind of like it or relatively like it. So we're going to go actors. We're going to go armor. What we're probably going to look for is leather pants, because I think this is an over. Yeah, this will be an over and not an under layer. So we're going to find our leather pants if we can find them here. Here we are. We're going to we're going to duplicate it. Keep on forgetting not create child blueprint. We don't want that. So we're going to go plate mail pants. Here we are. Let's open that up. Where'd it go? It just jumped away on me because I named it plate mail. Come on, where'd it go? I'll just search for it here. What the heck? There it is. Well, open up in full blueprint. Come on. All right. Viewport. Things are a little bit slower when you have our recording. Is like, why is it so thinking slow? So we're first off, because there's a little bug here, we'll go ahead and set that back, and then we'll set our plate mail pants. Mail pants right there. Now we need a drop mesh. We do not currently have a drop mesh for our plate mail pants, but that's not a problem. It's really easy to fix. So we're going to go to plate mail. We're going to come over here, and we're going to create make a static mesh. We're going to bring it down, and we're going to put it in our armor. We're going to go old man. Yeah, it's old. No, is it old man? Here, plate mail. Here we are. Static meshes. So we're going to name this one static mesh plate mail pants. There we are. Don't want to have that L large. Plate mail. I did it again. It's a bad habit. Plate mail pants. There we are. We're going to open that. What we need to do here are a couple things. First off, we need to add a box collision or some type of collision. I'm going to just go with a regular box collision. It'll be plenty good right there. That's good. And I am then going to take and drag it into the world to edit its pivot point and its rotation, because we probably don't actually want it standing. We don't want that like that. So we're going to go ahead first, bring it on over to modeling. And we're going to rotate it 90 degrees. Just type 90 over here in the corner. -90. There we are. That actually did not quite look, well, maybe about 90. Is that right? I think maybe we should have a little bit more flat, like kind of looks. Yep, that looks good. Then we're going to go ahead and edit its pivot point to be in line with where we want it down over here. Probably a pivot point at the very bottom of it. And hit accept. It's going to take a few seconds. There we are. We're also going to bake its transform, bake its rotation, accept. Now we have a good quality. There we are. And if we wanted to, we could even flatten it as if it was doesn't have a character in it. I think we might actually do that. So we'll just go ahead and flatten it so it looks like an empty pair of plate mail plants. Yep, I think that's fine. Might need to stretch it just a tad bit out farther to make it look like it kind of deflated. You can do whatever you want. That doesn't look quite as good. I think that messed up the last part there. Yeah, that looks better there. Like they look like an empty pair of plate mail pants. There we are. Now we're going to go ahead and bake that again. Accept. And come back over to here. Plate mail. Let's redo our box collision. Actually, let's delete our remove collision and then re-add the box collision. There we go. There we are. We now have a static mesh for our pants. So we're going to go SM plate mail pants. There we are. Want to set all these settings to 0. There we are, our plate mail pants. And then after we get that for that one, we also we have to change things in the corner here, but we're going to skip all these other ones for the moment. We're going to come down to this static mesh here and take SM, because this is our preview one where we're using the spawn item, which we talked about the spawn item in the last tutorial. This is what will display so you can place it correctly. Plate mail pants. There we are, plate mail pants. We don't want to have any translation on this at all. We don't need that. There we go. There we are. Now we're going to come back up here and start changing some of the stats for this thing. Instead of, obviously, we're not going to call leather pants mail pants. We're going to call a heavy set of metal lace pants. We're going to need to create our icon. We did this in another tutorial, but I'll do it again just so you can see. We're going to come to our icon maker. Doop, doop. Here we are. We're going to replace this one with the static mesh plants. There we are. Going to turn this up. And probably just want to make a good icon here. You want to go back a little farther, I think, maybe. Yeah, that's a pretty good icon, I think, don't you think? Maybe just a little bit farther back and have it actually show the whole thing of it. Yeah, I want to actually show the whole thing. Don't have to, I'm just going to. There we are. Then we open up the location, Control B, Control T, F2. So we go icon, plate, mail, pants. There we are, opening it up. We need to change its rendering group to UI. And what did I open? What's going on? What? Oh, that's my rendering target. Oops. I didn't actually create a static mesh target. Yeah. I didn't mean to change these. Render. Change that back to what it was here. See if that's actually. Did I make a mess? I hope I didn't make a mess. Don't think I broke anything. It should have still worked even with me changing its name here. There it is. Create static texture. Sorry about that. Icon. I missed a step. Oops. Clean the pants. Now we can open it up. You want to make sure it's a UI. Then we come down here and we switch around them in max alpha. That makes it a transparent around the sides of it. And we come over here. Now we got what we want. We want to bring it down into our inventory. When I bring it down to inventory icons, drag and drop it. Move here. There we go. We now have our icon. Pretty quick, easy, simple. Plate mail. Now we'll pants. There it is. That's good. Now we're going to choose its weight. Well, for now, we're going to just say 10 pounds. It's probably not actually what it would actually be. Also, to note when you're doing this, you want to make sure that you know that when the character equips an item, the more something weighs, the more every single one of his actions cost in stamina. So if you're putting on a full set of plate mail and they all weigh 10 pounds, your stamina cost, which was really low in the beginning with hardly anything on, would be extremely high. And I'll demonstrate that here in a minute. Because I'm going to make these things, all my plate mails are 10 pounds. So we don't need to mess with these. We don't need to adjust this. We don't need to mess with this. We do need to mess with these here. See, this is equipped legs over. This is where it's going to go inside your equipment slot. And this is correct. We want it equipped legs over. We don't want it under. We want it legs over, because they're the top layer. Okay. Amount, of course, it's only going to be one. It doesn't stack. Display text can be tooled. Rarity, and I do think that is pretty much everything we want to change. Oh, no, that's not everything we want to change. We want to change stuff down here. This weight needs to be the same as the weight you put up there. We also need 3 more substats. Oh, you can't do that without the weight here. We need substat poise. Poise. We're going to give it 1 poise. This poise, what poise does is it makes it so when you get hit, that 1 points of damage it will take to make you flinch or stumble backwards. So basically, having a poise of 1 means that when you take a damage, that is if you have a combined set of armor all with 1 on them, that you probably have about 3 or 4 poise. So the damage taken would have to be over 3 or 4 to make you stumble back. But also poise damage can have multipliers. So if you have like a giant hammer, you want to have a higher poise damage multiplier. So if it only does 3 or 4, it'll still when the calculations might only show like you only took 3 points of damage. But if the hammer has a higher poise multiplier, it will still make you stumble backwards. So that's how that works. And then here, your defense, melee defense, and magic defense. These are all every single piece of armor needs these 3. If it does not have these 3, it will have problems when you have details go over it, and it will not work properly. You have to have these 3. Magic defense. There we are. So we're going to give 1 magic defense, 1 melee defense, and 0.5. So what this does is this actually stops actual points of damage. So if you have a full set of armor with 3 melee defense, if you get hit with 6 damage, you only take 3 damage. And this actually also affects poise too. So basically, it has 2 poise because it has 2 melee defense. Or when same thing happens with magic, if you have 2, if it has 1 magic defense, it also will help with the poise. So the more magic and melee defense you have, the better, obviously. So that's and that's everything. And then you can also have permanently ingrained different buffs for your equipment items. We don't want to have an ingrained buff. This here has a +1 to all skill stats. I'm going to remove that. We don't want that. But these will be permanently ingrained. Every single item, regardless of its quality, will have these buffs right through here that you put in here. And I think that is pretty much all that is for the actual settings. Yep. I just will make this share here quick. Yep. That is definitely it. So that is actually all we need to do for this. And it'll if you have it already skinned properly, it will actually work just the way you expect. So let's go ahead. I don't need that there. Let's go ahead and duplicate this. And we will give ourselves plate mail pants. No. What did I spell wrong? I forgot the E. Mail pants. There we are. There they are. You see them there. And the one, bottom quality of 0. We need to go back to selection mode and just hit play. Boom. And there we go. We've it generated it. We have an artifact level plate mail. Oh, that's right, because I was messing with the settings there. So we're going to have a full plate mail set piece of equipment here, except for helmet. So we're going to boop, 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 boop. There we are. We now have a set of plate mail armor. And because my plate mail is actually pretty heavy, we go here, we can see our total weight, equip weight here. Our total equip weight is 41 out of 200. So if I'm going to be attacking with my sword, here we are, you'll see that it takes a large amount of stamina to swing that blade with that much weight on. So when you're making your armor, make sure you note that the more something weighs, the more the player will cost stamina-wise to swing a sword. See, now I don't take near as much weight to swing my blade. So that was one of the main reasons for bringing up bringing up your stamina stat, because without it, and you go start wearing heavy armor, if you're a melee person, you probably want to use mostly heavy armor. Well, you're going to want to have a decent amount of stamina too. Yep. And that's pretty much everything is for adding armor. The next time I think we'll talk about adding accessories. They're about the same as adding armor, but a little bit different. Because you actually got accessories. I want to make it so the player can actually controls where they show up and display on the character according to where they are in the these things here. But I haven't finished that system quite yet. We will do that. We'll talk about how it works, and once I have it all set up in the next tutorial. I hope you have enjoyed. If you have, like, shares, and comments are always welcome. Any questions, go ahead, don't hesitate to ask, and I will try to get back to you as fast as possible. LordMaddog signing off.